Sport has changed my life. In March of this year, I was given the huge responsibility, but the huge honor, to become the first female and African president of the International Olympic Committee. And I now have the greatest responsibility to ensure that our future generations are inspired by the Olympic movement, just like I was. In 2004 in Athens, I was going in to my last swimming race. I swam 3. I got a silver and a bronze. And I was going into my last and final event for that Olympic Games. And my coach and I had never spoken about standing at the top of the podium. We had only spoken about best times. How could we achieve our best? And I went into that call room very, very nervous. And she said to me, "You can only get better." And I was so excited. And I got into that ready room and I walked out. And when my hand touched the finish pad, I was so nervous to look up. So I didn't look up at the screen. I just looked over at her. And she was a lady. And she was jumping up and down, screaming and shouting, hugging the person next to her who she did not know. And I thought, okay, this is a good omen. And a few moments later, I got to go and stand on the Olympic podium, getting a gold medal placed around my neck, watching the Zimbabwe flag being raised for the first time in 24 years. And I thought, this is it. This is the proudest moment of my sporting career. And then I went home 3 days later. I went back to Zimbabwe. And in 2004 in Zimbabwe, things were very troubled. We had a nation in turmoil, in racial divide, in huge internal conflict. And I remember my mum saying to me, "Kirsty, you need to be prepared. Everyone is really excited." And I'm thinking, what is she talking about? And when we landed home and we got home, the airplane came to a stop. And suddenly the pilot came on to the remote control and he said, "Ladies and gentlemen, we warmly welcome home our Olympic champion. And we cannot go any further because your fellow Zimbabweans have come to the airport to welcome her home, and we cannot get to the gate. And please bear with us as we get her off the airplane." And it was just the most incredible thing, because I got to get off the airplane and walk into hundreds of thousands of Zimbabweans from all walks of life, who just hugged me and said, "Thank you, you made us proud." And I didn't realize until that moment that that actually was my proudest moment. Not standing on the podium winning a gold medal. It was the power that sport had to unify a broken, diverse country. It brought everyone together to celebrate a goal that I had had when I was 9 years old. And it will remain with me forever. It's something that I will treasure. And in today's world, one of my biggest responsibilities is delivering the Olympic Games. I hope all of you will be watching in a few weeks at the Winter Olympic Games in 2026, Milano Cortina. But one of my best memories, I went to 5 Olympic Games. And one of the best memories that I will cherish from every one of those games is at the end of the day, going back to the Olympic Village, where 10,500 athletes live together from 206 different countries, and you walk into the dining hall. And it wasn't just because I like to eat. It was because you got to see the colors of the nations. Everyone in their team uniforms, everyone coming to the end of the day, having been successful or not, all sitting down together and sharing a meal. That was the showcase of what we as humanity should be working towards. Again, another incredible way that showcases the power of sport, because as athletes, we didn't see race or religion or gender or country. We just saw a fellow athlete that had probably gone through the same challenges and obstacles that I had, and we automatically had a respect and a bond that will last forever. And in today's world, we need more platforms like that so that we can continue to inspire the next generation to believe that there are bigger things to dream about. And that takes me to one of my most memorable moments, again, going back to Zimbabwe, where I got to set up my foundation. And the foundation focused on creating safe spaces for children to just play sport for the first time. And at the end of the long year, we would run a tournament. And we gave 3 prizes out, one for excellence, one for respect, and one for friendship. And the coaches and myself and my husband, who's somewhere here, we got to sit together and identify who would receive the torch for excellence and respect. And then we asked all of the children to come up with one name to give the Friendship Award. And in one of the communities that we work in, they all chose the exact same little girl. And her name was Trish. She was not the fastest. She was not very good at any of the sports. But every single day she came, she tried. And more than that, she cheered on every single person. She knew all 200 of the children that came to our foundation, all of their names. She cheered for each and every one of them. And each and every one of them recognized the important role that she played in creating an atmosphere that was fun. And we called her up, and at this point, we're all crying because I don't know many opportunities where every single person in the room says, that little girl is amazing. And the best part of the story is her dad was there. And he came up to me at the end, and he just hugged me. And he said, thank you. And I said, well, it wasn't me. We all love her, but it was all of her peers. Her peers have recognized the incredible strength that she has to just make someone else smile and be proud of themselves. And he said, no, thank you. I was about to pull her out of school because I couldn't afford to keep her in school. And I didn't realize her true value. And you have all just shown me that she is incredibly talented and deserves for me to continue to find ways to send her to school. And she stayed in school and she graduated. And that is the power of sport. It's not about winning a gold medal. It's not about performing at an elite level. It's about the community that it's creating, the strength, the inspiration, the confidence building. That's the true power of sport. And that is why we love to play sport. It's why we love to be a part of sport. And it's why I will remain fully committed to the Olympic movement that has changed my life. I never thought I would be here in the Olympic city of Lausanne getting to speak to all of you as the IOC president. And my greatest responsibility now, as I was formally reminded by my 2 little girls, is that you need to keep that spirit and that power alive. And I hope that I get to do that with all of you as you recognize the small powers of influence that sport can play in our everyday lives. I hope you have a good evening. Thank you.